So I have something really interesting to share with you. Well, actually, to ask our guest today, welcome to the Serena English podcast, everyone. We have the fantastic Victor with us today.
Hey, Serena. It's so good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So, Victor, I was thinking about how many of our listeners, and me too, honestly, have spent years with their heads buried in English textbooks. And yet, they still don't feel fluent. It feels like there's a wall there, you know?
A wall. That is the perfect word for it, Serena. A huge, invisible wall. And it's a wall built by this idea that language is just a set of rules to memorize.
Exactly. So that's what I want to talk about today. This idea you mentioned before we started recording, fluent English, without textbooks. Is that even possible?
Possible? It's more than possible. I'd say it's a preferred way for so many people. It's about changing your mindset from studying to living the language, right?
Okay, living the language. I love that. But, let's start with the problem then. What's so wrong with textbooks? I mean, they're what we all used in school.
Right, and that's the core of it. They're designed for a classroom, not for real life. The first issue is that the language is often really artificial. The dialogues are stiff, you know? Hello, John, how are you? I am fine, thank you. And you? Nobody talks like that.
Right.
And the second thing is, they get outdated so fast. Language evolves. New slang, new expressions. A textbook from 5 years ago might as well be from a different era. You end up learning formal, sometimes robotic English that doesn't help you in a real, casual conversation.
That makes so much sense. It feels disconnected. Like you're learning about the language, not, actually learning to use it.
Exactly. You hit the nail on the head. It's about using it. And that brings us to the podcast method. It's all about one beautiful, powerful concept, immersion.
Immersion. Okay, so what does that actually look like? We can't all just move to an English-speaking country.
You don't have to. You can create an immersion environment right where you are. Podcasts are your secret weapon. When you listen to a podcast, you're not just hearing words. You're hearing the rhythm, the intonation, the pauses, the music of the language, you know?
The music of the language.
Yes, and you're hearing vocabulary in context. In a textbook, you get a list of words. In a podcast, you hear how that word is actually used by a native speaker. It sticks in your brain in a totally different way because it's linked to a story, an idea, a real human voice.
So it's more about absorbing the language naturally, like how a child learns?
Precisely. It's less about force-feeding your brain grammar rules and more about letting your brain do what it's designed to do, recognize patterns. And the more you listen, the more those patterns just click.
Okay, I'm sold on the idea, but is it really as simple as just putting on a podcast while I'm doing the dishes? Or is there more to it?
That's a great question, Serena, and it's a super important distinction. There's passive listening and then there's active listening. Both are useful, but active listening is where the magic really happens.
Okay.
Passive listening is what you described, having it on in the background. It's great for getting used to the rhythm of the language, but you won't pick up a ton of detail. It's good, but it's not enough on its own.
Right.
Active listening is when you engage with it. You're not just hearing, you're processing. A simple way to start is with something called shadowing. It sounds intense, but it's not, I promise.
Shadowing? What's that?
You listen to a sentence, pause the podcast, and then repeat it out loud. You try to copy the pronunciation, their intonation, everything. It feels weird at first, you know? But it's an incredible workout for your mouth muscles and your brain. It connects the listening part of your brain to the speaking part.
Wow, okay, that does sound like a real workout. What else can we do for active listening?
Another easy one is to summarize. After a 5-minute segment, pause and try to explain the main idea out loud, just to yourself, in simple English. Or keep a small notebook and jot down 1 or 2 new phrases you hear. You don't have to catch everything. Just 1 or 2 new things per episode is a huge win, right?
That's so much more manageable. I was picturing having to, transcribe the whole thing. So this all sounds great, but there are millions of podcasts. Where does someone even start?
Don't start with podcasts for learning English. That's my number one tip. That's just a textbook and audio form most of the time.
Oh, okay.
Instead, ask yourself, what do I love? Do you love gardening, true crime, technology, cooking? I promise you, there is a podcast in English about that topic. And that's the key. If you are genuinely interested in the topic, you won't feel like you're studying. You'll be motivated to understand because you actually care about the content.
So it becomes a hobby, not a chore.
Exactly. And don't worry if you don't understand 100%. You don't need to. Start with podcasts that are maybe a little slower or have clear speakers. Over time, you can challenge yourself with faster conversations or more complex topics. The goal is progress, not perfection.
That's a huge relief to hear. Progress, not perfection. I'll remember that. So final big question, how do we make this a consistent habit? Life gets busy. That's great advice. But what about the moments of frustration? You know, when you've been listening for 20 minutes and you feel like you only understood a tiny fraction of it, it can be really discouraging. How do you push through that?
You have to link it to an existing habit. It's called habit stacking, you know? You don't create new time. You just repurpose time that's already there. Your commute to work? That's podcast time. Making dinner? Podcast time. Going for a walk? Perfect podcast time. Just 15 to 20 minutes a day. That's all you need to start. Consistency is so much more important than intensity. Listening for 20 minutes every day is way better than trying to listen for 3 hours on a Sunday and then burning out. Small steps, every single day.
Wow. Okay, this has completely changed how I think about language learning. So, to recap, ditch the boring textbooks, find podcasts you genuinely love, practice active listening like shadowing and summarizing, and, make it a small daily habit. It feels doable, actually doable.
It is. And the best part, Serena, is that it's fun. Learning a language should be a journey of discovery, not a punishment. So just start. Find one podcast today on a topic you love and listen for just 10 minutes. That's it. That's the first step.
That's amazing advice. Victor, thank you so much for breaking this down for us. It's been incredibly helpful.
My pleasure. It was great to be here.
And thank you to all of you for listening to the Serena English podcast. You can find links to everything we discussed in the show notes. We'll be back next week with another episode. Until then, happy listening!